Years ago, I started having intention around having a morning routine. However, I struggled with a morning routine because my oldest son, who has autism, he is severe level 3 diagnosis at least, and he would get up at 2:30 in the morning, midnight, 3 o'clock. For many, many years, he never slept past 3:30. And I would struggle. I truly wanted to have this perfect morning routine. I wanted to have some kind of morning routine. I wanted there to be some kind of separation between nighttime and getting started on my day. And it came to the point of number one, I am not going to keep getting up earlier and earlier and earlier. I'm not getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to have a morning routine. Number two, it is possible to have the morning routine right alongside, if possible, next to your children. But you can still create some space, whether that is in your mindset and hopefully also in your physical space, especially as they get a little bit older. Sometimes there's different things that they can be doing, or even another room, so that you can have a few minutes to yourself. You do not need to have a long morning routine. It doesn't have to be an hour or 2 hours. It can even be 5 minutes. You can pick a couple things that works best for you. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 7. I try to get those done most days, but honestly, the first 5, if I get those done, I feel like I am a 100% winning. And then even if I get the first few done, I'm still winning. Sometimes a morning routine, all you have is 5 minutes because of what's going on in your life. Sometimes you have 15, sometimes you really have 30. Wow, who's doing that? I don't know, but sometimes you do. And if that is possible and available to you, as I always say, in the season that you're in right now, that's awesome. But here's a few ideas, just in case you need a little variety depending on what's going on from day to day for you. I'm going to tell you my top 7, and then afterwards, stay tuned because I'm also going to give you a few different options for variability. See you soon.
Do you struggle with living in congruence with how you want to live versus how you actually live? Are you a mother with a child on the autism spectrum that longs to feel more balance in your life? Would you like to take better care of yourself, but don't know how to make it work in your current season of life? Would you like to have more control over your time, thought life, feel healthier, and have more energy? Well, my friend, if you have answered yes to any of these questions, I have great news for you. I created this podcast for you because I remember the beginning of my self-care journey and how I felt. I remember longing to enjoy my motherhood journey and struggled as I was trying to figure out what I could do to feel better and show up as my best self, because for me, all I had ever wanted was to be a stay-at-home mom. Hi, my name is Victoria Mattia, and I am a certified life and health coach, certified international counselor, and former autism therapy clinic director. And most importantly, I am also a mom of 2 special needs children, one on the autism spectrum. For years, I struggled with these same issues, so I went back to school to study science-backed and research-based principles on how to feel my best, even in the current season I am in as an autism mom. I realized that my self-care needs didn't have to come first on the list, but I did need to prioritize and put them on the list intentionally. We may not be able to change everything in our current season, but there is a lot that we can do. I worked for years to help my child on the autism spectrum have the best therapies, resources, and advocated tirelessly for him. But what I realized was that as my child's primary caregiver If I didn't create daily and simple self-care tools for myself, I would burn out, and it would be impossible for me to show up as my best self on a daily basis. This is why, as a mother of a child with autism, I focus on 4 intentional daily needs. These needs are sleep, mindset, nutrition, and movement. Each podcast episode, we will focus on one of these areas, and we will provide real and authentic health solutions. So, grab a cup of tea or your favorite flavor kombucha and pull up a chair, and let's have a chat on how these solutions can change your life.
Hello, everyone. You are listening to The Mom Care Coach, and my name is Victoria Mattia. Thank you so much for listening in today. If this is your first time listening to The Mom Care Coach, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you enjoy this episode and it blesses you and encourages you. If this is an episode that you have been looking forward to, you enjoy listening to the Mom Care Coach, thank you so much for coming back. Today, I am wanting to kind of get in the weeds and get really tactical about a morning routine. So, I have to confess, going from being in burnout and then not being in burnout and then going through, life struggles, different things happening with my children, especially my child on the autism spectrum, and then not paying attention to my self-care again and then going into burnout. I have to say I have done that off and on for years, and there are certain things that I have kind of gotten under control that even in tough times, in difficult seasons, in fluctuating health issues, even for myself as well as my children, that I have found to be really, really helpful. So today we are going to talk about the 7 things I get done during my morning routine. I really believe a morning routine is really, really helpful because it really starts you out on your day. I have had years of being woke up by my children because sometimes they're getting up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and how that affects me versus me being able to get up earlier than they are up and running about. Now, you notice that I didn't say get up earlier than they are when they're still asleep. I have not had that experience even yet. My oldest child, who has level 3 autism, he is 15 now, and even now, he does not generally sleep past 5:30, even when he is, in a good season and he's sleeping through the night. It, that has not been a season that we have walked through yet, so I don't know what that would feel like. However, we have gotten down to him understanding that even though he is awake when mom is up, he can't keep coming in and out of the room that I'm trying to do my morning routine. That being said, it is still a challenge, but we are working through it. So today we're going to talk about mindset, and I think our one big idea really is that you can create a morning routine that works for you and your family. So I'm going to share my morning routine, but I also understand that everybody's routine is different. I want to just give it to you as an option so that you can tweak it to make it work in your life. There are several things that I like to get done in the morning, and I have found that it is really helpful when I get them done so that I can feel my best. Number one. So, number one for me is get up out of the bed when the alarm clock goes off. Now, that's probably the hardest for me because I have times where I sleep through the night, and then I have times where I don't sleep as well as I would hope so, or I really would like to. And, sometimes it's not even my fault. I have done all of the things, but for some reason, whether it's due to my children or just my sleep cycle, it didn't work out. So the biggest thing for me is getting up when the alarm clock goes off. There's a temptation to stay in the bed, but for me, when I do that, I'm just asking for it not to go as well as I really need it to go, because sometimes the kids, they'll get up and they'll see mom still in the bed, and so they'll run around and do stuff, and it's just really, really hard. So I try to never do that. I am not going to say that I never do it, but I try to never do that, meaning I do my utmost to make it possible for me to get out of the bed as soon as the alarm clock goes off. So that's my first tip. Also, if it is possible for you, and this is not on the list, but I was just thinking about this, it's really important to not use like your smartphone next to your head, or like within a few inches or even a foot close to you, because the smartphone, as you know, I don't have a smartphone anymore, but a smartphone does emit a lot of radiation, and so that's not good for you. Also, because of the bright lighting, it can affect sleep, the blue light, all of that. So, what I would recommend would be even like an old fashioned alarm clock, or a radio slash buzzer alarm clock, or um, I use often my flip phone and I don't have it next to my head. It's several feet away and I get up that way. In the past, I would use the old fashioned alarm clocks that had the radio on it, but sometimes if you have kiddos that are really interested in taking things apart, that may not be the best option. But if that works for you, of course, go for it. But like I said, tip number one is getting up as soon as the alarm goes off. Tip number two, okay, so for me, I like to get out of the bedroom, to actually start the morning routine. So that means I will get up, I will come out of my bedroom, and for me, I probably go to the restroom, and while I'm in the restroom, I like to brush my teeth, wash my face. You can get in the shower if that is available to you. Most of the time, that's not available to me because, as I said before, my children are pretty much almost always already up. My youngest is the one that likes to sleep in if it's possible for him. Sometimes, like I said, because my oldest is already up, if he's allowed, then the youngest already wakes up as well. But um, usually in the morning, I will get up, go to the restroom, brush my teeth, wash my face because that helps me to kind of get up. And then I will do an EO scrub down. If I am not able to do that yet because I'm not really up and I have other things I need to do, then tip number three comes in. So, tip number two, I know that was a lot of information, so let me just review. Once I get up, I go to the restroom and I brush my teeth, wash my face. That's the second thing I do. And of course, go to the restroom. And then come out of the restroom and I will go into my dining room, and I've already prepared water. So there's my tip number three. Drinking water first thing in the morning is really, really helpful because you have to understand there's probably been overnight several hours that you haven't hydrated yourself. And that's important to do that because sometimes, people will have aches and pains or headaches or different things. And actually, it's because they're dehydrated. Also, the reason is because I often like to have caffeine. I will do my matcha, and I want to have water before I have caffeine because caffeine, even the best kind, can be a little bit dehydrating if you do not have water as well. And sometimes you don't feel it. Sometimes you can feel a little bit dehydrated, but you don't know it's dehydration. And it may come in the way of feeling like you're hungry, or dehydration can come in the way of foggy thinking, foggy brain, all of that stuff. And sometimes it's just you're dehydrated. So let's review. Step number one, we get up when the alarm clock tells us to get up, and then we go to the restroom and get started. Brush teeth, wash face. Um, and I used to wait a little longer before I did that, and I realized that it was really hard because if I waited too long, because my family's really busy and my kids are really, really busy, then I would wait and then it wouldn't get done until we have to leave the house for something. And I didn't want to do that. So get up when the alarm tells me, brush my teeth, wash my face. And of course, if you can do like an EO scrub down or pop in the shower or whatever, that's a great time to do it. So I come out of the bathroom. Oh, and of course, I forgot. I get dressed in the bathroom as well. I have several drawers in my bathroom, and that's where I put my clothes because I like to make it kind of this one stop shop to make it easy for me as possible. So I'm in the bathroom, I'm washing my face, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm getting dressed. Okay, now I'm ready to rock and roll. So I get out of the bathroom, and then the next thing I do is get hydrated. So that was step number three. I will drink my water. Now, for me, step number four is I make my matcha. If you do not drink caffeine, you may drink coffee, but if you don't have caffeine at all, you can have herbal tea if that's what you choose to do, or just have your water and then continue on your path. So, the next thing that I will do, so step number four, is I will read my Bible. So, I recommend some kind of prayer and Bible if you are not a person that wants Bible, having that silent reading time, having time to yourself. But I'm just going to recommend prayer and Bible. Prayer and Bible is going to really set you up as far as, praying to, God, your higher power. For me, it's my Elohim. I will pray, and then it gives me a few minutes to kind of have that quiet time, supposedly. My kids still come in the room, but I do try to continue to escort them. But this is life. This is real life. So, and then I will do some reading. So I'll read my Bible. If I have time, I also like to read a personal development book, something that will help me in business, something that will help me with my self care, something that will help me with my own personal life. So I will do that. And then I think we are up to step five. So, step five, I like to get started on breakfast. And this is when I am getting started on breakfast for myself and my kids, and kind of, getting them all around and prepped and all of those things. Now, these are my top five, but there's two more if it is possible. For me, I like to get in a mini workout for stretching, working out. Um, that can be really helpful. And so that would be step number six. Sometimes I have to postpone that and allow that to be, at a different time. So, you do whatever you need to do. And then step number seven, I will take my vitamins. Often I do intermittent fasting, so I'm not actually eating breakfast at that time. But I do take my vitamins, supplements, all of that. And so that is my morning routine. Now, of course, like I said, no, this doesn't have to be your morning routine. But if you're anything like me, I do like to hear what other people do, especially if I'm getting started on something new. How I can put different things into my life, how I can, help myself and improve, especially if it's something new, if it's an area that I am struggling in or wanting to put some time and attention to, then it's really nice to be able to hear from other people as well, especially when they are on the same path as myself. One more thing. I want to give a word of encouragement. If you are a person and the idea of being successful at a morning routine has been really difficult and stressful, or because you have multiple interruptions, you never feel like you're able to complete it, I suggest not doing these 7 steps. Maybe first just focus on doing 3. Getting up when the alarm clock goes off, brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting dressed. So I guess it's maybe 4. If you're able to do those things consistently as soon as you get up in the morning, that's going to help you to feel better. It's going to help you to know that you look good because you're put together, and that affects our mindset. We don't have to do tons of stuff. We don't have to, do everything immediately as soon as things happen and feel like we have to do it either perfectly or not at all. I have never been that way. Actually, that's not true. I was always that way growing up. And all the time, I'd say even before I had children. However, there comes a point, especially in motherhood, where I don't want to say good enough is enough, but sometimes good enough is enough. It doesn't have to stay at good enough, but sometimes our good enough is actually perfect for us in the season that we are in. Maybe our good enough is someone else's, bottom of the barrel. But here's my thing. I don't care what someone else, their bottom of the barrel is. If it's my best, then that's my best. And sometimes the good enough, if it's my best, then that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And, even if it feels like 3 or 4 in the morning is hard, do get up when the alarm clock goes off. And then pick one more thing. Drink water. Immediately brush your teeth and get dressed. Or go to the next room and have 1 minute of prayer and silence. Maybe it's not silence if your household is a little bit loud, but a 1 minute prayer. Please, God, help me. Please help me to be more intentional today. Please help me to be more mindful about what's going on today as I am doing things. Help my heart and my mind to be on the same page when what I'm doing with my hands and my body, have it all to be congruent. And there are days where that's my best, and that is okay. And wherever you're starting is perfect for you because that's where you're starting. No one starts at the end. We all start at the beginning. And what's perfect right now, and if it's very minimal, you have to get started in order to be great. That is for everything, anything, all day, always. So I hope this last couple minutes is encouraging to you. Take good care.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for listening in today. I hope that it was an encouragement to you, that you learned something that you can apply to your life, and you had fun. So thank you so much. Until next time, have an awesome day. Oh, awesome, one more thing. Do not forget to like and share this episode, because if you know other autism mamas out there that is looking for a podcast that can encourage them, that they can learn something from, and they can apply to their lives, especially when it comes to self-care, please share this with them and let me know if you are wanting to know about some health bundles, because I have some things that could possibly help you out. Thanks. Bye. Till next time.